Look what I built. It's a sphere machine. I have no idea if it's going to work, but while it's still clean, let's take a look at it and then we'll try it out. Before I started on this, I looked at pretty much everything I could find on the internet showing sphere machines, and I like this design the best. This is from a YouTube channel by James Muchmore, and I just liked his design. This isn't exactly the same, but all the ideas pretty much came from his. So he used Makita drills, used ones, and I found these brand new, not Makita drills, but they were $12 a piece. They didn't come with batteries, and I didn't want the batteries anyhow, so that seemed perfect to me. And if these don't work, I can always make it with some used Makita drills later if I want to. So what I did is up inside there, I just wired these up to where the battery connections were. And then I came over here, and there's a DC power supply. That's one of the things I like about this, is it doesn't use AC motors, so I'm not dealing with high voltage and water right next to each other. So I've got the power coming from here, but the drills go way too fast. I've got the triggers, I've got them zip tied, so they're pulled all the way in. And then I bought these motor controllers. I tried hooking all three drills up to one of these, and when the smoke cleared, I went and bought three of them instead of one. So apparently they're not strong enough or durable enough to handle three motors at the same time. But they seem to be working this way. I haven't put a load on them yet, so we'll see what happens. So anyhow, all of them come to here. The power comes out of this, and then it just splits three ways, and then out of there come the power for the drills. So it's pretty simple. I got a water supply up here because you have to drip water on this. So I'll just fill this up. This is just some sort of food container. And then I got this stuff. This is I forgot what the name brand is, but I got the name brand stuff. There was cheap stuff, but there were conversion problems with metric and not metric. And anyhow, I just went with this, and this seems better. There's a little valve right here. So what I want is just a slow drip of water going onto my sphere. These are diamond core bits. I got these, I think these were from eBay also. They were really discounted. I forgot what I paid for them, but it wasn't very much. And then we've got some bungee cords. I made my own bungee cords. You can buy all the parts to make bungee cords and use tie knots, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not sure if I have enough bungee cords, if I have enough tension, too much tension. A lot of questions that I have. So, I made, let's get this. Let me take these off. I work one-handed here. I'm going to drop them. Oops, I knew that was going to happen. Oh well. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Pull that back, this back. Get my sphere out of there. And pull the bowl out so you can see a little better. All right, so these are just, I went to Home Depot and got some just hinges. I went with stainless steel whenever I could. The stainless steel ones cost a little bit more, but I figured they're going to get wet, so it's better not to have them rusting. And then these tip forward, and you can see I made this adjustable, and I probably should have made it be adjustable farther back. It's back all the way right now. But what I was thinking is, if these are shorter, if I get if these actually work, or with this next stages, my things are much shorter, so I have to be able to push this stuff forward. So they are adjustable a little bit. Like I said, they're all the way back right now, but I can push them forward if I need to. So one thing I'm worried about is that these are sharp on the inside edges. Most people, I don't know how to weld, but most people weld on these little chunks of diamond embedded or impregnated metal, but they're kind of flat. They kind of put the flat face on an angle like that, kind of the way so it's going to hit the sphere. I'm a little afraid, actually a lot afraid, that's just going to dig right in. If it does, I'll try to figure out a way to grind off the sharp part and leave a little bit less sharp, more flat part hitting the sphere. So we'll see how that works. One of the things about the drill that's nice is they've got a chuck on them, so you can just put these right into the chuck. You don't have to figure out some fancy way to attach them. And when you want to change to other grits, it's just a matter of just unscrewing that and pulling it out, and easy peasy. Let's see, what else do we have out here? Oh, my little shed here. I figured there's going to be water spraying around, so I made this little, I'll call it a shed, to cover everything up. And this comes off like that. Just has those little things you see inside cabinets sometimes. So I can just slide it forward to get it lined up. Easier to do with two hands. I think it's in. Yeah, it's not in, but you get the idea. Let's see. Here we go. Gotta hold it with my leg. All right. So that should keep the water off. Oh, the other thing that I'm worried about is my ability to make a sort of sphere. This is not very round. I made 3 of these. This one's Unikite. I made one out of a limestone that's really soft. I think these things would dig right in. And the other one's an agate, but it's an agate that has some soft stuff in between. I didn't realize that until after I made it. So I need to figure out how to make these more round. I don't know if that's round enough to work. Lots and lots of questions here. So I'm going to set the camera down and plug this thing in, and we'll take a look at it running. Well, currently I don't have an on-off switch. I'm just planning to plug or unplug it. And when you plug it in, it goes. See the motor controllers here? They're not all set the same, and I'll show you why. I have this little tachometer. See if it'll go on. There we go. And I put a little piece of reflective tape on each one of these, and I was shooting for right around 100 RPM, so I had them all just under 100. Okay, now that one's a little bit over, but not much. Oops. I might need to adjust these a little bit. And then this one was going a little slower, so I had to turn it up a little more. Anyhow, that's how I'm planning to test the RPMs rather than just going by this thing. They do seem to be a little bit different, and apparently each time you turn it on and off, it's a little different also. All right, I got my water filled up. The top is loose, so some air can get in there. And it's dripping on there. I got it pretty well centered. And I did give it a little squirt with a squirt bottle just to get it going. So let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh, I hooked up a power strip here so I can turn this on and off quickly in case there's a problem. Ooh, it looks like it's going to pop right out the top. Whoops, there it is, right out the top. Okay, let's try that again. So I don't know if that means that my drills are too low on the rock. I'm suspecting that's what the problem is. Or maybe my rock's a little bit too big. Or it could just be that it's so irregularly shaped that it's not going to do really well. So we'll see what happens. Try it again here. All right, that's not great. I wish I could back the drills up just a little bit, but I don't think I can do that. I'm going to try more tension on this. I'm going to make another set of bungee cords, and we'll give that a try. Well, I made a second set of bungees. They're a little bit shorter than the original ones, and put them on there with the original ones, and that was very bad. The ball popped out immediately. So more tension, bad. What I would really like to do is back all those drills up a little bit. I just ran it for probably 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and it didn't pop out until the end of that time. But you can see that the water down there is dirty, so it is doing some grinding. It's working okay. I'm more or less encouraged here. The one thing I can see that I can do that might help a little bit is that shaft that goes into the chuck there could be cut off, and I could gain just a little bit. you know, like 1/4 of an inch on each one of them, but between all 3 of them, that might be enough. Plus, as this gets more round and gets a little smaller, that's going to help also. So I'm going to try that next, and I'll report back in and how it goes. Got about a 1/4 inch off the end of each of these, but it still wasn't short enough, so the ball was still popping out the top. The angle really wasn't much different. But I was able to find 4 bits like this for a total of $15. And so I ordered those. So it's a few days later. I've got them installed, and I've already run it a little bit. You can see the slurry down there. It looks good. So let me show you what it looks like when it's running. Switch is on. There we go. Way more stable than it was before. So if I move around here, you can see that it's still angled up slightly. But that's what I'm looking for. That's good action there, I think. I thought it was about done, so I took it out, rinsed it, dried it, and you can see there's a couple spots that aren't completely scratched up, like right there and right there. So I'm gonna put it back in for a few minutes. It's getting close to 2 hours now that it's been rolling. If I'd made a better preform, obviously it wouldn't have taken as long. So I'm putting it back in for a few minutes, and then we're on to the next step. All right, got that part done. I am just thrilled with how this is going. So the next thing is I need to make it smooth. It's very, very rough right now. So I decided to use these diamond pads. These are used on like a angle grinder. But I need to make them smaller and kind of spherical shaped, or to fit on a sphere. So what I did is I got end caps. This is a smaller one that I'm going to use in this. I'm hoping to make smaller spheres eventually. But anyhow, this is an end cap, PVC pipe end cap. I drilled a hole in it. It's kind of hard to get the hole perfectly centered. I threw out a couple that I missed a little bit on. And then I just put a bolt through there. And then I filled it with epoxy. So I just bought some epoxy. This is nothing special, just multi-purpose epoxy. Filled it right up with that, and then put these little Velcro pads in here, because these are Velcro on the back. And I need to get that, I tried to get it spherical shaped. So I bought these styrofoam balls that were about the same size as the spheres I wanted to make. And then I wrapped them in plastic, and then you can put that right in there and clamp it in. And any epoxy that squeezes out, you just wipe it off. You can use acetone or nail polish remover to clean up epoxy. That works really well, but if there's a little bit on there, it doesn't matter. So I'm hoping that stays on. It's epoxied on, so it should. And then I just cut up my pad. I'll show you the remnants of what's left of this pad. What I found works really well is a coping saw. I tried a utility knife like this, and it's got diamonds in the thing, and so I think it just made it dull immediately. Plus it was an old blade to start with. But that didn't work as well as the saw did, so I just put it in the vise and hacked away. So the first one I cut right out of the middle, and then I cut a little chunk out of it so I could make it fit in there. And then after that, I only had the one middle, so I'm just cutting chunks out and piecing them in. That is not pieced very well, and I might have to do a better job of that, but that's what I'm trying for now. So these are just going to go in here like this. And then I can use these same cups for different grits. I don't really know that it matters that much how well these fit in. It might. We're going to find out. All right, so then I've got all these different grits. So that's 50 grit, I got 100 grit, 200, and so on. I just bought this set, and I'm going to use all of them that come with it. It goes up to 6,000. I lined these up kind of like overlapping like this. Well, not 200s, but 200, that 200. And I just took a picture of the whole set of them. So when they're cut up in little pieces, I now know that blue is 50, because once it's cut up, you can't really tell by looking at the other side what grit it is. Instead of using these little homemade bungee cords, this time I just used a small bungee cord, and I hope that works. I haven't turned this on yet, so we're going to find out together if it works. They are angled maybe slightly downward now. So hopefully it doesn't just fall at the bottom. We'll see. I think that might work. I've not been doing a very good job of keeping track of time, but I've been running this in 50 grit for a while, like let's say 20 minutes. I don't know if that's overkill or if it's not done yet. I don't really quite know how to judge that just from a lack of experience. So I'm moving on to 100 grit, and at some point I might have to back up, but that's how you learn. Just got done with 100 grit. At least I hope I'm done. It's starting to feel really smooth. It was really rough to begin with, and the color's starting to come out a little bit. So 200 grit is next. Going to 400 grit next. I don't know if you're having fun, but I'm having a ball. I've gotten reckless and turned the speed up. I've got it running at about 200 RPMs now. I started out at around 100. This is coming along nicely. 800's up next. It is actually starting to get a little bit of a shine. All right, 1500 is next. 2 more to go. 3000 next. Only have 1 more set of polishing pads to go. 6000 is the highest grit I have. I wish you could feel this thing. It feels so smooth. It's so satisfying to roll around in your hands. I'm so happy that I made this machine. All right, last one. I don't think I could be any happier with this. This is awesome. I picked this rock up off the beach, and I made this out of it. And I made the machine that made this. I'm just thrilled. This is so cool. It feels so neat in your hands. This is completely dry, by the way. So you can see how dry my hands are. It's dry. Wow. All right. This is my new hobby. I'm going to give up rock tumbling and just make spheres. Not really, but I am going to be doing a lot more of these. If you enjoyed that, then I think you'd really enjoy seeing the time when I made a chain out of a single rock. So click on this, and I'll see you over there.